A lone individual managed to show the mighty superpower of America some serious stars in broad daylight. In 2013 he snatched over 1 million top-secret documents from the US, and laid them out for the world to see, and ever since, he has been the most wanted criminal in America for the past 11 years. Surprisingly, despite causing such havoc for the US government, he's viewed as a hero worldwide. But why on earth? How did he steal documents from the top-secret agency? Why did he leak them? And how on earth is he still evading capture? The Morning Sun on June 6, 2013, brought a mega headache for the US government. News outlets like The Guardian and The Washington Post published a series of articles revealing the full reality of the NSA's top-secret documents. These documents left mobile users not just in America but across the globe flabbergasted when they learned that the US government had been sneaking around, keeping tabs on every mobile user. The documents exposed the NSA's secret program PRISM, a sneaky little operation allowing the US to gather data from millions of Verizon users. Verizon being a big mobile operator in the States. Just like India's and Pakistan's security agencies have been sneaking around hacking into Hong Kong and China's military computers, tapping Angela Merkel's phone when she was Germany's chancellor, the British government was running a program through GCHQ to keep an eye on their own citizens. The leaked documents showcased chats between the NSA and GCHQ, where both agencies were plotting ways to pull the wool over people's eyes and hide propaganda. Initially, no one had a clue who leaked these documents or whether they were even true, as news agencies don't need to name their sources. But just 3 days later, a figure emerged ready to take responsibility for these top-secret leaks. 29-year-old Edward Snowden, a high school dropout. He kicked off his career with the US military, but after a year, he ditched that gig and became a security guard at the University of Maryland in 2005. Edward wasn't exactly a star student, but his computer skills were so sharp that the CIA snapped him up. After a few years with the CIA in 2009, he got hired by American tech giant Dell, which had a contract to upgrade the NSA's computer system, so they assigned Edward to that project where he started as a supervisor but eventually became a cyber strategist. To the CIA and NSA he was like a golden ticket. But then, what in the world happened that turned him from a cyber strategist into a traitor? Apparently, while operating and upgrading NSA's computers, Edward discovered that the agency could access any mobile user's personal data. He even laid eyes on some records he initially thought belonged to international criminals. But surprise, surprise, those records belonged to peaceful American citizens. During this period, there was a discussion in Congress about intelligence issues. Ron Wyden, an American politician, asked NSA Director James Clapper point-blank during a packed session if his agency collected data on Americans. This session was broadcast live on national television. James Clapper boldly declared in front of millions that no, their job was strictly foreign intelligence. Edward, watching the TV, couldn't believe his ears and felt a surge of anger. 3 days later he quit his job at Dell, where he was making a cool $200,000 a year. In 2013 he hopped over to Booz Allen Hamilton, a company that worked for the US military, CIA, and NSA. He was put on an NSA project again. The agency later said that Edward had stolen so many files from their system that they couldn't even guess the amount, which could be well over 2 million. But how on earth did he make off with those top-secret files without anyone catching on? Interestingly, he didn't use any fancy hacking tools. Instead, he pulled it off with a simple USB drive. But how? In regular offices, USB drives are usually banned due to data theft fears. Plus, in any company's system where confidential data resides, not every employee gets access to that data. And these were the NSA's computers, where security is supposed to be tight as a drum. Prior to pulling this off, Edward had a getaway plan up his sleeve, benefiting from the fact that he was hired remotely by Booz Allen Hamilton for an NSA project. That's why he was stationed in Hawaii, a good 5,000 miles away from the NSA's Maryland headquarters, and Hawaii is 6 hours behind Maryland. While Edward was working in his Hawaiian office, everyone at NSA HQ had already wrapped up for the day. Another perk was that he had access to NSA headquarters servers via an outdated thin client system. And the kicker? Edward was the system administrator, which granted him high security clearance and extra privileges. This meant he could copy data from any system without anyone being the wiser. Edward cleverly seized this opportunity and quietly copied over 2 million files from 5,000 miles away. After just 4 weeks of working in the Hawaiian office, Edward decided to spill the beans about the NSA's operations. He copied all the documents onto a USB drive, stealthily snuck it out past the security guard, and took a sick day. He shut off his phone number and took off straight from Hawaii to Hong Kong. But when he went missing for several days, and his phone was unreachable, the NSA got suspicious and began searching for him. After landing in Hong Kong, he met with a few trusted journalists and handed over the documents, which the very next day became the headlines of the world. The documents Edward Snowden leaked kicked off a fresh debate about the NSA's secret powers globally. He faced charges for stealing government property, unauthorized access to national security systems, and leaking top-secret information to unauthorized individuals. Meanwhile, the US government demanded Hong Kong hand him over, but Edward had planned every step in advance. By then, he had already caught a flight to Russia, where he initially received political asylum. In a September 2022 interview with Putin, he revealed how his own agencies spy on us. He mentioned a tool called Nozzle Smart that gives security agencies access to our phones' microphones, enabling them to eavesdrop on everything happening around us. Some folks see Edward Snowden as a traitor, while others view him as a hero who exposed the NSA's true face to the world. What's your take on this? Be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments section. I hope you all enjoy this episode from Rommel TV, and like and share the video. Thank you for all your love-filled comments. Until next time, see you in another fantastic video.